And as a resource person, we have Professor Arvinder Ansari. Ma'am, she's a professor in the Department of Sociology, Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. And ma'am, in her distinguished academic career of more than 20 years in Jamia Millia Islamia, she has taught postgraduate and undergraduate students and supervised several PhD students. Her areas of specialization are sociology of ethnicity and minorities, sociology of gender, feminist theory, cultural studies and identity, sociology of violence. And she has also successfully presented papers and participated in many international and national conferences. So, ma'am, I welcome you for today's session. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your kind words. And, I hope I'm as vibrant as your previous resource person. Actually, I'm supposed to talk about ethnography. And अच्छा विकास जी मुझे ये जानना है कि आपके participants whether they like to be bilingual या खाली अंग्रेजी में बात करें.
Bilingual, ma'am.
Bilingual. Okay, okay, that is one. So, आज एक बहुत ज़्यादा जो एक्साइटमेंट है हम लोगों का ये स्टार्टेड यूजिंग दिस वर्ड एथनोग्राफी. Now it's very important to distinguish कि ethnography कहाँ से आया and what is ethnography and what is the difference between ethnography and participant observation. So this is something which is very important concern and एक बहुत important सवाल है कि इसमें difference क्या है, because this is what we have learned throughout our research careers, that participant observation is something which gives us अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द कम्युनिटी जिसकी हम स्टडी करना चाहते हैं, उसकी एवरीडे लाइफ के बारे में हमको बताता है. बट द टर्म एथनोग्राफी हैज बिकम more fashionable these days. Now, why ethnography has become more fashionable or more, kind of more popular these days is a reason. There is a reason that why it is happening. Now, when we see that the interdisciplinary approach what we are talking about, हम लोगों ने बात करनी शुरू की है कि अब जो है multidisciplinary interdisciplinary researches जो हैं वो या करिकुलम होने चाहिए, तो उसमें जो methodology पे भी प्रभाव पड़ता है. So now when we talk about ethnography, so ethnography is something which is talking about which is basically talking about uh, cultural phenomena from the perspective of the participants. So it seeks to provide deep holistic understanding of social practices, beliefs, and interactions within specific cultural context. Ethnographers often explore the meaning that participants attach to their behavior and experience. Now, this is something very important to understand that, we have ethnographic studies, and ethnographic studies were very important. And basically, this word ethnography has been derived from the word ethnos, which means people, and grapho is to write about them. Basically, it has its roots in understanding human culture and societies, that is anthropology. I'll come to Malinowski later on, because Malinowski is the first person, the anthropologist, who kind of introduced this technique. So, as both a method and a written account, ethnography provides in depth understanding of social practices, values, and dynamics of the community. So, unlike other social science approaches, ethnography emphasizes immersive engagement with people, observing their behaviors and interpreting the meanings behind within their specific cultural context. Now, this is a very important concern. ये जो है तथ्य जो ये बताता है कि ethnography is engaging. Now, always, social sciences have been struggling with this question of objectivity. That what is this objectivity and how do we, maintain this ऑब्जेक्टिविटी. यही कंसर्न रहा है हमेशा सोशल साइंसेस में कि हमें एक ऑब्जेक्टिविटी अपनी मेंटेन करके रखनी है. But ethnography says that the researcher has to immerse into the field, and it provides us in an in-depth understanding of a social practices, values, dynamics of the community. Basically, to understand the community from the perspective of the community which you are studying, that becomes a very important concern. अब इसमें difference क्या है? Participant observation is you are there, you might observe it from distant. आप बातचीत करते हैं लेकिन आपके दिमाग में बार बार ये होता है कि you are only an observant, and but in ethnography, you know, you kind of try to immerse. So getting at times personal also, but getting personal is not that you are going to compromise with your objectivity. So it is observing their behaviors, interdining, interacting, and giving meanings from specific cultural contexts. So at the heart of ethnography is to uncover the insider's perspective, allowing researchers to document not just what people do but also why they do it. Now, friends, this is very important. Participant observer might write कि ये काम ऐसे होता है, उस समुदाय में विवाह ऐसे होता है, पर उस समुदाय में विवाह ऐसे क्यों होता है, इसके पीछे क्या कारण है. मैं एक आपको उदाहरण देती हूँ कि सिख कम्युनिटी में व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेन आफ्टर मैरिज, जैसी शादी होती है, जब पे लाया जाता है, जो घर पे द्वार पे एंटर करती है तो उसका स्वागत जो है खिचड़ी से किया जाता है. और ये सबको बहुत अजीब लगेगा कि खिचड़ी से क्यों स्वागत किया जाता है. भाई शादी है, शादी करके आई है तो उसके लिए बहुत एलैबोरेट मील होना चाहिए. तो जब पहले उसको घर के अंदर लाते हैं तो उसको घर की तमाम महिलाएं खिचड़ी खिलाती हैं, सास, नंद, देवरानी, जेठानी, ये सब उसको खिचड़ी खिलाती है मक्खन के साथ. सो यू नो व्हेन माय ब्रदर वाज गेटिंग मैरिड, आई आस्क्ड माय ताई जी, I lost my mother, I was very young. So I asked my Taiji, I said कि ये खिचड़ी क्यों बनानी, because being a student of women's studies and all that, I felt कि क्यों फालतू में खिचड़ी बनानी. So she said no, खिचड़ी बनाना बहुत important होता है. I said what is the logic? So she said that खिचड़ी इसलिए बनाई जाती है, this is a kind of message to the newlywed that you have immersed into each other, because in खिचड़ी, दाल and चावल, they lose their identity, उनकी पहचान जो है वो खत्म हो जाती है. So this is a kind of immersion. So that has its own rationality. You might agree with me, you might not agree with me, लेकिन ये एक ट्रेडिशन था कि यू नो दे सर्व थोड़ी सी मतलब खिचड़ी एक एक चम्मच सब खिलाते हैं विद लॉट ऑफ बटर एंड ऑल. इट्स नॉट दैट कि वो जैसे बॉयल खिचड़ी खिला दी उसमें अच्छा सा तड़का भी लगा होगा, बट the context is that we are welcoming, you are part of this and we are part of you. So this qualitative approach is instrumental in anthropology, sociology and other disciplines. This is more popular in anthropology, sociology and other social science researches also, like for instance I would say gender studies. But beyond academia, it has also found applications in diverse fields such as market research, healthcare, education. So now this is very important, to look at this development of ethnography. Now, what is the, if you look at the history of ethnography, the roots of ethnography stretch back to ancient times, with early travelers and historians like Herodotus documenting foreign customs and cultures. आपको याद होगा, आप जो स्टूडेंट्स हिस्ट्री के हैं, ट्रैवल लॉग्स हुआ करते थे. ह्यून सॉन्ग के ट्रैवल लॉग बहुत बहुत पॉपुलर हैं, एंड मच इज लर्न्ड अबाउट द कल्चर, द स्प्रेड of Buddhism from Hyun Song's travelogues. But these were the early accounts, often lacked methodological rigor and cultural sensitivity that defined modern ethnography. They were frequently shaped by the biases of preconceptions of their authors, reflecting a Eurocentric or a colonial worldview. But now this was the culture they were coming, they were writing, they were describing. They were not. Now, what is the difference between description and research is also very important concern. Description is something where you are just giving a description of a social phenomena, but when you are doing a research, you are trying to understand that research, that social phenomena backed with the evidences, which becomes a very, very important concern. So the formalization of ethnography as a scientific discipline emerged alongside the development of anthropology in 19th and 20th century. Now, during this period, colonial powers sought to understand and control the societies. They governed, prompting scholars to study indigenous communities systematically. So we have early anthropologists like Edward Taylor, James Fraser, uh, who kind of did they did the studies of the communities, but they did it based on the secondary sources. But since the as anthropology also developed and it matured, so the field of study went through a transformative shift with the advent of participant observation. And Malinowski, in his grounded work, Argonauts of the Western Pacific, he kind of emphasized the importance of fieldwork and living among the people being studied to understand the imponderability of everyday life. That means the complexity of everyday life. Here he talks about the complexity of everyday life, which becomes very important and interesting phenomena to understand that, you know. So he also kind of Malinowski also emphasized that there is a need for immersive fieldwork, advocating for anthropologists to engage in daily contact with their informants to gain thorough understanding of the cultures they study. Now, this approach required a meticulous documentation of observations and interviews, highlighting the need both for data collection and interpretation. Now, this is very important. Now, what is the difference between travelogues and the ethnographic studies is that travelogues, they did not interact. उन्होंने जो observe किया अपनी डायरी में लिखा, अब उनकी वो चाहे डेली डायरी थी या उनकी अपनी नोट्स थे, that become important and they also become popular. But the difference is that we maintain is a field diary is something very different. The field diary is maintained on the basis of your interaction in the field with the people and the observations which you write in that. And also you also kind of construct further questions when you are doing your interviews, when you are interacting. There are many how and whys which come to your mind कि ये कैसे हुआ, क्यों हुआ, कब हुआ, और इन सब सवालों के जवाब आप तलाशते हैं. So we see that from secondary sources to primary sources to in-depth field work. So ethnographic route can be traced to Chicago School of Sociology in the 1920s to 1940s, which applied qualitative methodologies to urban social phenomena. This school of thought closely associated ethnography with symbolic interactionism, a perspective that focuses on the subjective meanings individuals attribute to their social world. You know how I see my social world. When you look at my social world, it is very different. Or for instance, coming from gender studies, if I want to elaborate on this example, I would say when I am driving in the night in a city, I will never ever drive my car with my window panes, my open. And even I'm driving with my window panes up. If a cop on the road will stop me, I will not stop. Now, why is this? My understanding of social world is very different from the understanding of another driver on the road being male. Now, why these two different responses come? मुझे डर लगता है, मुझे लगता है कि नहीं भाई, मुझे गाड़ी नहीं रोकनी चाहिए. मैं इवन जो वर्दीधारी पुलिस वाला वहाँ खड़ा उसको भी ट्रस्ट नहीं करती हूँ. मुझे लगता है कि मैं कल जाके चालान भर दूंगी, वो ज्यादा मेरी सिक्योरिटी और सेफ्टी है. नाउ फ्रॉम वेयर दिस इंटरप्रिटेशन इज कमिंग, है ना. किसी के लिए तो ये होगा कि मैं गाड़ी नहीं रोक रही हूँ तो मैं किसी कानून का, किसी नियम का उल्लंघन कर रही हूँ. पर मेरी रैशनैलिटी उस वक्त मुझे ये समझाती कि ये उल्लंघन मैं करने से मैं अपने आप को सिक्योर फील करती हूँ. सो मे बी अ मेल ड्राइवर विल स्टॉप, विल हैव एन आर्ग्यूमेंट और विल हैव कुछ उनकी बातचीत होगी, वो अपना कुछ फिक्स कर लेंगे और बात खत्म हो जाएगी. बट आई विल नॉट यूज दैट स्ट्रैटेजी बिकॉज मुझे नहीं मालूम कि वो मेरे से किस तरह का बर्ताव करेगा, वो सही में पुलिस वाला है या नहीं है. एंड दिस फियर कम्स फ्रॉम द इकोसिस्टम ऑफ द सिटी. So classic ethnographic text emerged from the attribute that that was a combination of detailed observation and interpretation of social interaction. So my interaction, my understanding about the institution of police in Delhi. So over time, ethnography has diversified, adopting various approaches influenced by epistemological concerns and practices. Now, when I'm narrating my incident, that has its own epistemology, that has its own construction, and that construction is that my fear of living in city, which I feel for is not very gender friendly. So ethnographic research, as it matured, as it went further, as it established, it kind of led emphasis that there should be we need to have a very strong tradition of field work. So now, what were these strong traditions of field work? And uh, now, very important principle of doing field work and the guidelines for the field work were very important. And if you are interested in further research to know on the guidelines of for field work, there is a very interesting work by Fetterman. So while classic ethnography could involve from 6 months to 2 years or more, but now the modern ethnography has changed, and where researcher visits the sites, maybe for 2 weeks or 3 weeks every month, and so yeah, maybe we keep visiting. We had one of our colleague who stayed in a field in Madhya Pradesh. He was studying certain tribes, and he stayed there for 10 years. तो ये जो फील्ड वर्क है एथनोग्राफी का, अब तो ऐसा पॉसिबल नहीं है, आप लोगों के लिए पॉसिबल नहीं है, क्योंकि आपका एक पीएचडी करने का टेन्योर फिक्स हो गया कि दैट यू हैव टू कंप्लीट योर पीएचडी विद इन 4 years and maximum 6 years, कुछ इस तरह का पीरियड है. It varies from, but earlier in Delhi University you will find many ethnographic researches on tribes or anthropological studies where fieldwork went for years and years. Now, why it went for years and years is also a question, because here fieldwork is an outsider, and he's trying to angle and to know the insider knowledge. So field workers ride the lines between and across multiple boundaries, with the result that the journey can be emotionally uncomfortable, or in the words of Irwin, exceedingly edgy. Doing fieldwork involves number of stages, including deciding what field or context in which to conduct research, getting access and gaining acceptance within the field. Conducting the fieldwork itself and leaving the field is an ethical acceptance away as possible. So now you see, it's not that easy. It's very difficult कि क्या करना है, कैसे करना है. पहले तो अपनी फील्ड को डिफाइन करना अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ा कंसर्न है. दैट हाउ यू डिफाइन, these days we call it pilot studies. Modern days things have changed, the structures of PhDs have changed. We have a compulsory coursework, and after that coursework you write your term paper, then another 6 months you finalize your topic. So in all this process you lose 2 years, and then you have 2 years at your hand. So to understand a new community completely in 2 years and getting, first is, I know you say कि हम लोग तो बोर्ड में ही जाते हैं अपना टॉपिक लेके, एंड टॉपिक फाइनलाइज हुआ होता, so there is nothing as such very difficult about topic is decided, and it's just one has to go to the field. When you go to the field you realize that you need a suitable environment that aligns with your research objectives. For instance, when I was doing my fieldwork on half widows in Kashmir, when I went there, so doing a research based in Delhi, sitting doing theoretical work was very interesting, emotionally engaging, and giving me a lot of inquisitiveness that I visit my field and I interact. The first thing when I went to do my field, I was encountered with complete strangeness, with complete doubt that आप क्यों आए, आपको क्यों करना है हाफिज की study, who is sponsoring and why are you interested. So I had to go through those multiple tests, those Agni Parikshas, and when I was, they were completely kind of convinced about my academic intentions of of doing the research. I get access to the field. Now, very interestingly, I get access to the field. I was very happy कि ठीक है कल से मेरा field work शुरू होगा. But interestingly, when I start my field work, I realized the phone numbers provided by a particular organization, which had the database on half widows, phone numbers were not working. Now, how do I do? So, out of 10 numbers they provided, one worked, and I just jumped on that number, and now this lady became my gatekeeper. Now that is again also very important, that how these, how to navigate and how to involve these gatekeepers or participants, and ensuring that the researcher is welcomed in the community or the setting. Twice I had this experience, friends. Once when I was doing my PhD and I was trying to interview the victims of Surat riots post, Babri Masjid demolition, that is 1993 riots. So I was getting access to the field was very difficult. I had to come back, without any success in my first trip. Then in second trip, I was able to convince the gatekeepers, and I got access to. Similarly, in case of half widows, though on the surface it seemed that the I'm getting the help, but the numbers which were provided to me did not work. But somehow then when I got hold of one lady, so she could understand, and she could understand my intentions, and then by snowball sampling, I was able to get to reach to my respondents. So your methodology also changes when you go to field for long term, and the kind of study you want to do. मतलब कन्वीनियंट सैम्पलिंग हो सकती है, जाके आपको करनी पड़े, या आपको स्नोबॉल सैम्पलिंग लेनी पड़े, बिकॉज यू माइट गो विद द पर्पजिव सैम्पलिंग इन योर माइंड, एंड देन यू रियलाइज दैट इट इज नॉट हेल्पिंग. And something which is very important in the field is then establishing a trust and rapport with participants is very crucial. Otherwise, it will not be a comfortable. So, doing fieldwork involves lot of stages, because at times, the kind of look they give you very unwelcoming, and especially when you are entering into personal lives, तो पहला उनका सवाल होता है, why should we share our personal life with you? Personal life, I mean, I'm saying not personal life as in I'm talking about their choices about marriage. And that also becomes a kind of a question. But say if I'm trying to understand the, when I'm, say for instance, when I'm talking about half widows, so how conflict impacted them, and how how did they navigate, how did their husband or their son disappear. ये सब जो सवाल में तो उनको कोई तो कंफर्टेबल होता था जवाब देने में, कोई नहीं होता था. So ethnographic studies involve immersion in the field for long periods. Now so you have to be very careful when embarking on this type of research. Now I think this question must be coming in your mind कि फिर कैसे मुझे access मिला और कैसे कामयाबी मिली. The advantage I had was that I could understand Kashmiri language, और मैं थोड़ी थोड़ी बोल पाती थी, बिकॉज मेरी स्कूलिंग कश्मीर से हुई थी, और जब मैं एक दो सेंटेंसेस कश्मीरी में बोल लेती थी, और जब वो बातचीत करते थे तो फिर मैं उनसे कहती थी कि हाँ आपने जो कहा वो मुझे समझ में आया, जो आप लोग बात कर रहे हैं ना वो मुझे समझ में आ रही है. नाउ हियर देयर वर पीपल आल्सो हु वुड गेट कॉन्शियस नोइंग दैट शी अंडरस्टैंड्स कश्मीरी, बट इट आल्सो काइंड ऑफ हेल्प मी इन बिल्डिंग अ लिंक with the community, or फिर they were comfortable. So a different kind of relationship was being formed. So in fact, I'm coming back from I came last evening only back from Kashmir. My study is over, but I frequently visit there for academic reasons. So so it is quite appropriate to say that for someone undertaking research as a part of their employment or as a part of doctorate, indeed, is it requires a rule that is very important, and that is very important. How do you select your field? So the nature of setting chosen for the study may be decided before the research problem has been fully resolved. So the collection of ethnographic data may itself help in the definition of research problems. This question, how do I select my field, is also very important. Rapport building comes later, but selecting field in itself is a very, very important challenge. That what field you study, and I will not say, and I will not, discourage people from analyzing or identifying new themes that require additional sites of studies, because तभी तो research है. If we do research on already researched areas, it makes no point. So it is better that in our researches we have innovation, we have something new which is coming up. But very important is the cultural setting is very important. So we need to understand that what kind of difficulties we are going to navigate and how. तो ये clarity होनी चाहिए. So I would say a word of conscious that if you want to study areas which you consider are sensitive, like for instance sexuality studies, for instance, if you are going to study the what is it is called, the deviant behavior my in slums में जो एक कल्चर होता है, या सेक्सुअलिटी या क्वेयर, these are all emerging themes and sociologists should study. So you have to see that how you would traverse. So reading fieldwork accounts of people who have done similar kind of researches helps you in conducting your fieldwork. The actual process of fieldwork involves absorbing and interacting with participants over extended period. So it is not that you can do it in short period, and that is what I would like to request all the participants here कि आप सोचें कि आप 10 दिन में 15 दिन में अगर आप अपनी PhD thesis का field work कर पाएंगे, that is very difficult, because then it is not ethnography. If you really want to do ethnographic study that is in depth, which in itself means in depth study, at times we are asked this question, मैडम कितने केस स्टडी कर लें? 50 कर ले, 500 इंटरव्यूज तो लोग अक्सर अपने क्वांटिटेटिव डेटा में डाल देते हैं, विच इज ऑल्सो इम्पॉसिबल टारगेट. बट आई वुड से दैट इवन इफ यू डू गुड 15 to 20 case studies for say for your PhD thesis in sociology and gender studies over a period of fieldwork for spread over a period of 2 to 2.5 years, that is a good number. I mean, you can do less than 15 also, but 15 to 20 is a reasonable number. So that and because your immersion into the field is very important, it is more important than detached observation, which is where that objectivity के चक्कर में आपको समझा दिया जाता है कि आपको बिल्कुल detached रहना है, whereas feminist methodology is completely different. It applies autoethnography. Feminist methodology kind of prefers and propagates that the researcher should apply autoethnography. I'll come to the question of autoethnography later. So now what are the theoretical and what are the ethical considerations in the field? So throughout the fieldwork process, researcher must adhere to ethical principles, ensuring that participants' right and well-being are prioritized. This includes obtaining informed consent and being transparent about research. And this is a very, very tough question to answer, because अभी तो खैर आपको यूनिवर्सिटीज में बोला जाता है कि आप लोग ethical clearance लीजिए, है ना? That has become a very important concern. In these days in our university, ethical clearance is very important, and in ethical clearance also the role of committee becomes very important. We find that generally क्या हुआ कि ethical clearance we have adopted the patterns which generally the natural sciences adopted. Now we have two tailor it to the requirements of social science. That is also very important concern. So one, तो वहाँ पे तो आपका है ही है अपनी यूनिवर्सिटी, अपने कॉलेजेस में, जहाँ से आप लोग रिसर्च करें, अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से एथिकल क्लियरेंस का एक इम्पॉर्टेंट कंसर्न अब जनरेट हो गया, एंड यू कैन डू योर रिसर्च अनलेस एंड until you have ethical clearance. But when you go to field, and especially when you go to field and you are doing field work through some NGOs, doing it through NGOs or not doing through NGOs is your own ethical consciousness also is very important. अगर आप NGOs के थ्रू जा रहे हैं तो वो तो आपसे मांगेंगे ही मांगेंगे एथिकल क्लियरेंस, वो कंसेंट फॉर्म, और वो अगर आप वैसे भी किसी NGO के थ्रू नहीं जा रहे, आप इंडिविजुअल्स के थ्रू जा रहे हैं, आप अपने जानने वालों के माध्यम से फील्ड में जा रहे हैं, तो इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट व्हेन यू एक्सप्लेन टू योर participants that what is the purpose of the research and उनका क्या रोल है स्टडी में, और उनको ये भी बताना कि हमने उनको क्यों चुना है और क्या प्रोसीजर है और कितना टाइम लगेगा इस पूरे काम में, और मतलब you have to answer their questions and also tell them that if they are not comfortable, they feel that they want to withdraw, because for instance when you do studies on sexuality, violence, conflict, बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि people don't want to be quoted. Anonymity is also very important, confidentiality तो सारा concern, but along with that it is also very important that we give this freedom to the participants that they can exit from the study at whatever point they want, whenever they feel that they are uncomfortable, but explaining this. And सबसे बड़ा challenge तो ये आता है जब ये पूछते हमको इससे क्या फायदा होगा, especially when I was doing half videos, they were all very tired because lot of people have done, media people had come, foreigners had come, उनकी बहुत ज़्यादा लोगों ने उनसे बातचीत की, तो जब तक हम पहुँचे 2016-17 में फील्ड में, तो उनको लगता था कि यही सवाल, यही रिपीटेशन में अपनी कहानी सुनाते, और कई तो बिल्कुल ट्रेंड हो गए थे, कई लोग इतने थे मतलब कि उनके पास आप जाइए वो फौरन अपनी कहानी शुरू कर देते थे, देवर कि अच्छा आप ये सुनने आए, बट देवर सम हु वुड आस्क वेरी ट्रिकी क्वेश्चंस दैट व्हाई आर यू डूइंग एंड व्हाट how is your study going to help us. Now this is something very important कि आप इसके बारे में सोचिए कि आप कैसे, when they become participant, is your study going to help. And generally when you are doing studies from cultural and social perspectives, this answer, the answer to this question becomes very difficult because you don't know how to answer this question. For instance, मैं जब हाफ विडोज की स्टडी कर रही थी या विक्टिम्स ऑफ कम्युनल वायलेंस 1984 की या 1993 की, मेरे पास इस बात का कोई जवाब नहीं था कि मेरी स्टडी सिर्फ इतना कहना कि देखिए मैं आपकी जो बात है उसको लिखूंगी और उसको एनालाइज करूंगी, वो पब्लिक डोमेन में जाएगा, एंड मे बी माय थीसिस व्हिच बिकम्स अ पार्ट ऑफ शोध गंगा may be of some use to the policy makers, but direct policy intervention to PhD thesis में है नहीं. But yes, when you are doing evaluation studies or when you are doing studies through organizations, they might, maybe for some policy intervention, then it is different. But when you are writing your PhD thesis, तो अभी आ गया है कि आप लिखिए how your study is going to help the policy intervention, but directly it is not linked to the policy intervention. So that clarity you have to give it to the respondent. It's very important. And also to build up on the relationship between insider versus outsider status. So ethnographers often have to navigate a complex relationship between being an insider, someone who shares cultural or social characteristics with the participants, and can be outsider, someone who does not. Achieving a balance between these roles is essential for gaining deep insights while maintaining a professional distance. Now, this is something very important, that how you in fact, when I was doing 1984 Sikh riots, I myself was a victim. So many a times I would, move back and forth with the victims when they were narrating their, their experiences of violence and how they faced communal violence, so I could relate it to myself. But then, I had to distance myself. I had to learn to distance myself, and it does not come in one day, 1 week. It comes over the years when you start looking at things objectively. This is the long training which you have to, keep telling yourself. So to it is very important that we build emotional proximity, but we build this emotional proximity with the skill to detach. That is very important. So to understand participants life fully, researchers must develop emotional closeness. This requires them to engage with participants on personal level, which can enhance the richness of the data collected. However, this closeness must be balanced with the need to remain objective and professional. So, friends, हमें अपने आप को भी train करना है. We have to train how. And being emotional is not role playing. It is that you really empathize with them, especially in case when you are studying victimology. And also, the respect to the culture is also certain things you will find very weird and very important. When we talk about feminist autoethnographies, there one thing which we are taught is that hierarchy between the research and researched has to be broken. And one thing which is very fundamental to remember when we are in the field is that we have entered into the field as a learner. We are not the knowers. So this is very important that we have to always keep in mind. So the intersectionality of gender, race, socioeconomic class, age can also affect how researcher is perceived by the participant. Not only this, even the way you dress, the accessories you carry to the field, these characteristics are very important. Either they will facilitate or hinder access to the information and rapport building. Researchers must be aware of how these dynamics play out in their interaction. So, when you are going to the field, do read about field, do a prior, mapping that what are the cultural concerns and how, जैसे आप स्लम में जा रहे हैं और आप बिल्कुल एक एरिस्टोक्रेटिक तरीके से तैयार होके जाएं, एक फैंसी बैग लेके, एक बड़ा सा अपना एक बॉटल और showcasing all your modern accessories, which will deter them telling you their everyday life, which might deter them to come close. So the personality of the researcher has to be very flexible, very adaptable. So reflexivity, that also involves reflexivity. So when you are doing your research, it is very important to be reflexive of your own experiences, biases, and the impact of their identity on the research process. This self awareness helps researchers to understand how their background and perspective shapes their interpretations and interactions with the participants. So, you go with a very, very open mind and be very reflexive and think the uh, your own understanding, your own, there are why field work is very important. I remember Aman Srinivas talking about book view and field view. So field book view, what you have read is now a chance that you go and empirically ensure and check and investigate that the book view is matching the field view. Now, these thick narratives, when we are talking about ethnography, thick narratives are very important because they allow for a deeper understanding of social context in which participants operate. That also becomes a very important question. Now, one thing is very important. आपने field work किया. This is in the field, and how do we do field work, and how do we record the field work? One very important thing also when I was doing my research with handloom weavers of UP in globalization of handicrafts, and there I was working with these weavers who weave Banarsi saris. What I learned was there, we used to go to field with a diary and pen. So the moment I would start writing, when they were talking about policies, they will become conscious. and I could see them wavering their responses. So you have to keep gauging this, and if your pen and paper is making uncomfortable, your recording is making, even when you are recording, then you have to take a consent that can I record. And when it is making them uncomfortable, I think we have to be very conscious, and we have to depend on our memory. In that case, come back and take those notes, which are very important, and notes have to be taken immediately you finish your interaction, interview, observation. So, updating your field diary is very important. And when you are doing your field work, I told you about one of my colleagues who had spent 10 years doing research on one of the tribes in Madhya Pradesh. Now, we don't have that kind of luxury and privilege now. Our researches are time bound, whether they are sponsored researches or they are PhD thesis researches. So we also have to plan our exit. So you would say that what is the difficulty in planning our exit? We can exit after we have done our field work, but what happens is at times, the relationship of the researcher with the community becomes so intense, and researcher unknowingly becomes a social worker also. So that emotional disengagement and dependency of the field from the field is very important. Therefore, ethnographic research often involves forming deep emotional connections with participants. As a result, leaving the field can be challenging. Researchers may experience feeling of loss or guilt, especially if they have developed friendships or strong ties within the community. Acknowledging these emotions is important for a researcher's well-being. But planning a departure is also very important, but it is also essential to inform participants about impending departure well in advance. Researchers should remind them of the exit date several days before leaving to ensure there is no surprise. This communication helps to maintain trust and respect. So, that is very important. Reflecting on relationships. Researchers should take a time to reflect on the relationships they have built and the impact of their research on the community. Now, there is a scholar, feminist scholar, Remhart. She says that she talks about rape research. Now, rape research is not the research on rape. She says that she talks about this relationship. So she says that the relationship of the respondent with the community is very important. You are entering into their life, you are seeking information, you are seeking knowledge. You cannot discard them, like you cannot leave them, you cannot abandon them like that. So you have to reflect on your relations. For time being, you have to say goodbye, but you have to leave with the relationships which are more, forthcoming for others to come and do their research in those communities. So the exist process involves ethical considerations, as researchers should be mindful of how their departure may affect participants. Ensuring that participants feel valued and respected even after the research concludes is a vital to maintaining ethical integrity. Researchers should document their experiences and insights gained during the exit process. This can include reflections on the emotional challenges faced and the significance of the relation formed, contributing to the overall understanding of the research experience. Therefore, getting out is a critical phase in ethnographic research that requires a careful planning, emotional awareness, ethical consideration. It emphasizes the importance of maintaining relationships and ensuring a respectful, thoughtful exit from the field. So, friends, this is the overall, nuances I wanted to share, and I'm ready to, answer your questions if you have.
Okay,
Hello.
Panorama ji.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an enriching session. and we'll just open the platform for the questions. If anyone has any question, they can just ask. किसी को किसी भी तरह का क्वेश्चन है, आप हिंदी में इंग्लिश में दोनों लैंग्वेजेस में पूछ सकते हैं.
बिल्कुल पूछ सकते हैं.
और अगर कोई चैट बॉक्स में लिखना चाहता है, they can write their question in the chat box as well. So just feel free to ask your questions.
Yes, Azhar Iqbal.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, मैम. मैं अजहर इकबाल, मैं ओडिशा से हूँ मैम. मेरा ये क्वेश्चन है कि मैम जैसे आपने एथनोग्राफिक रिसर्च करे या कुछ भी फील्ड स्टडी में गए, तो वहाँ पे एक जैसे अपने मार्जिनलाइज कम्युनिटी के ऊपर में कर रहे हैं जो बहुत यानी उतने पढ़े लिखे नहीं है. अभी अपने को रिसर्च करना, उनसे डेटा कलेक्शन करना, लेकिन सबसे पहले उनको समझाना पड़ता है कि हम किस पर रिसर्च कर रहे हैं और क्यों रिसर्च कर रहे हैं और ये रिसर्च कैसे हेल्पफुल होगा. अगर हम उन लोग को बोलेंगे कि नहीं हम पेपर लिखेंगे, हम लोग थेसिस लिखेंगे, फिर जाके वो तो थेसिस भी नहीं समझेंगे कि पेपर क्या होता है, वो भी नहीं समझते हैं. तो उनको कैसे समझाया जाए कि मैम जो हम अपने रिसर्च जो कर रहे हैं उनको हेल्पफुल होने वाला है फ्यूचर में, और उसमें क्योंकि वो अवेयर नहीं होते मैम. अगर आप इसमें थोड़ा सा बता पाएंगे. और दूसरा ये रहता है कि मैम जैसे अपने कुछ रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, कुछ पॉलिसी के ऊपर में रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, एग्जाम्पल जैसा प्रधानमंत्री जनधन योजना हो गया, तो पूछते हैं कि क्या आप अपने अकाउंट क्या खोल देंगे, क्या आपने कुछ ये रिसर्च हमें जो है पॉलिसी वगैरह या प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना या आप हमारे लिए कर देंगे क्या, ये उनका कंसर्न रहता है. तो उसको भी कैसे समझाया जाए. आप थोड़ा सा कुछ इसमें इनसाइट्स कुछ देना चाहें तो.
हाँ, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है. मैंने इसकी बात की थी, लेकिन मैं फिर से आपको दोबारा बताती हूँ, क्योंकि जब आप फील्ड में जाते हैं तो ये सवाल आता है कि हम आपसे क्यों बात करें, इसमें हमारा क्या फायदा होगा और ये हमें कैसे मदद करेगा. तो ये आपको उनको बताना है. वही कि देखिए, ये जो हम आपसे बातचीत कर रहे हैं, हम एक थीसिस लिख रहे हैं. अब अगर वो थीसिस नहीं समझ पाएंगे तो आप उनको बताएंगे कि हम शोध कार्य कर रहे हैं, हम रिसर्च का काम कर रहे हैं. और आपको ये भी उनको समझाना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि जो हम काम कर रहे हैं ये डायरेक्टली तो हम इसलिए नहीं कर रहे हैं कि हम आपकी मतलब कोई स्थिति में कुछ ऐसा सुधार ला पाएंगे, लेकिन हमारी जो हमारी रिसर्च है वो आपको मदद वो एक पब्लिक डॉक्यूमेंट है. हमारी जो थीसिस है वो एक पब्लिक डॉक्यूमेंट है, और इसका जो अध्ययन है पॉलिटिशियंस भी करते हैं, ब्यूरोक्रेट्स भी करते हैं और पॉलिसी मेकर्स भी करते हैं. और ये हमारे लिए, और दूसरी जो इम्पोर्टेंट बात है, आपको ये भी उन्हें बताना है कि आपकी जो सोच है, आपकी जो चिंतन है, वो हमारा ना. चिंतन से ये मतलब नहीं ले लेना है कि जर्नलिज्म, आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट जर्नलिज्म. जो आपके कंसर्न्स हैं, से फॉर इंस्टेंस आप कह रहे हैं माइनॉरिटीज पे रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, तो प्रोसेस ऑफ मार्जिनलाइजेशन अगर आप देख रहे हैं माइनॉरिटीज का, कि वो कैसे दिन ब दिन उनका मार्जिनलाइजेशन हो रहा है, तो उसमें बहुत सारे इस तरह के सवाल आएंगे जिससे आप वो बता सकते हैं कि देखिए आपके जो कंसर्न्स हैं हम उनको एक आवाज दे रहे हैं. बिकॉज रिसर्च इज ऑल्सो गिविंग वॉइस. That is a very important concern of a researcher, कि you give voice. Why do you do a research? Because you are concerned about a particular thing. I wanted to know, and I wanted to understand the impact of communal violence on the women. So when I did this research, I could see that how women who are not nowhere in the frame of violence as the perpetrators of the violence or actors of the violence, but they are the victims of the violence. So you know how violence impacts them, how their life changes is very important when you are giving this voice. You're writing a thesis and later on you would publish it. Now you see there has been a change. हमारे वक्त से और आपके वक्त में बहुत चेंज आ गया. हम लोग थीसिस लिखते थे और ICSSR में जमा हो जाती थी. आज आप थीसिस लिखने से पहले 2 पेपर जब पब्लिश करते हैं, फिर आप अपनी थीसिस पब्लिश करते हैं, फिर आपकी थीसिस शोध गंगा पे जाती है. तो इसकी वाइडर जो रेंज होती चली जा रही है, वो लोगों को, आने वाले लोगों को भी मदद करती है रिसर्च क्वेश्चंस को आइडेंटिफाई करने में और इन मुद्दों को आगे ले जाने में, क्योंकि वॉइस भी तो करना एक इम्पोर्टेंट कंसर्न है. दूसरी बात आपने कही कि वो अगर हम जाते हैं और अगर हम कोई इवैल्यूएटिव स्टडी करते हैं तो वो हमसे ये अपेक्षा करते हैं कि हम उनके फॉर्म भर दें, उनके खाते खुलवा दें. तो ये कई बार ये वाला रोल प्ले करना पड़ जाता है, करते हैं लोग, बट ये आपके ऊपर है कि आप कैसे नेविगेट करें. उसको ये उनकी कभी कभी अपेक्षा होती है, या उनको समझा दे, तो ये तो आता है. दिस कम्स विद योर फील्ड वर्क, दैट इट विल कम, एंड इट इज हाउ अ रिसर्चर वुड डील. बट आप उनकी योजना उनके लिए कोई ले आएंगे या नहीं ले आए पाएंगे, ये तो बिल्कुल सवाल आपको बड़े बिल्कुल एक एथिकल वे से उनको एक्सप्लेन करना पड़ेगा. फॉर्म्स को भरना या फॉर्म्स को कभी उपलब्ध करवा देना, कई बार मतलब एक हमारा, देखिए व्हाट हैपेंस इज, हम उनको किसी तरह से तो उनको आभार प्रकट करते हैं. तो मे बी इफ यू आर फिलिंग अ फॉर्म और कह दें कि शाम को बैठ के मेरा जरा फॉर्म भर दो, तो आई थिंक दैट इज अ सर्विस यू आर गिविंग, यू पेइंग बैक. That's all. You also know that कि मैं सिर्फ इतनी ही मदद कर रहा हूँ, फॉर्म भर रहा हूँ या फॉर्म लाके दे रहा हूँ, या मतलब आई होप आई हैव मेड माई सेल्फ क्लियर. अगर नहीं तो आप मुझे इसके ऊपर काउंटर क्वेश्चन भी पूछ सकते हैं. अगर मेरा जवाब सही,
थैंक यू मैम.
नहीं आप,
थैंक यू मैम.
अगर आप संतुष्ट हैं तो ठीक है, नहीं तो इफ यू हैव एनी अदर क्वेश्चन, आई एम रेडी टू आंसर, बिकॉज इट इज लाइक इट्स अ वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन. इट्स अ नॉट डिफिकल्ट, सॉरी, इट्स अ डिफरेंट सिचुएशन. हर जगह की सिचुएशन अलग होती है. मान लीजिए आप किसी योजना पे काम कर रहे हैं, जरूर लोग उस वक्त आपसे कहेंगे इसका फॉर्म कहाँ मिलेगा या इससे हमें क्या फायदा होगा, तो वो आपको पता होना चाहिए. वो काउंसलिंग आप उनकी कर सकते हैं, है ना. काउंसलिंग कर सकते हैं कि ये स्कीम ये कहती है, ये अच्छी है या बुरी है, वो आपको नहीं कहना, क्योंकि एज अ रिसर्चर आपको मेंटेन करना है. अपना कोई सब्जेक्टिव या जजमेंटल इनपुट नहीं देना. वो यस, एनी अदर क्वेश्चन, एनी अदर क्वेरी?
और किसी का कोई प्रश्न है? नहीं तो फिर हम लोग सेशन एंड करेंगे. किसी का?
These are all research scholars, because they are all research scholars here.
Yeah, ma'am. Some are assistant professor.
Achha, so this is orientation. What is this program on methodology?
Yes, ma'am. Research methodology.
That I know. It's a workshop on research methodology. Okay.
जी.
Okay.
एक्चुअली मैम क्या है ना, आज हम लोग 3 सेशन, ये तीसरा सेशन है आपका, तो 9:50 से हम लोग लाइव हैं, सब लोग बैठे हुए.
आपने इनका कंसेंट लिया? Did you take their consent कि हम आपको, we are going to tax you with lecture after lecture? That's also a very very important concern. I think human mind had human brain, mind and retention power is limited. तो वो भी हम लोगों को थोड़ा
yes ma'am.
है ना. So we have to not be too loaded. I think intensity is more important than that is the difference between quantitative and qualitative research.
Actually ma'am, we had scheduled only 2 lecture for today, but ड्यू टू सम वर्क जो है, आशुतोष सर का कल टीवी डिबेट के कुछ वर्क आ गए थे, तो वो चले गए थे, तो इसलिए सब पार्टिसिपेंट्स ने कहा ना उनका लेक्चर होना चाहिए, तो हमने फिर आज करा दिया. चलो ठीक है.
अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा.
यस मनोरमा जी, प्लीज.
Thank you so much, ma'am. There are no more questions now. So thank you for this session.